जानते ही हैं, बट कंफ्यूजन ये एंड मी, इसके बारे में आप थोड़ा हमें ब्रीफ में बताएंगे एंड मी?
Well, it's because Mother Teresa is one story, but we have the story of 𝗂𝗽𝗃 in the film. And 𝗂𝗽𝗃 is a character of today, the British woman of Indian descent who has some problems, and when she goes to solve her problem, she goes back to Calcutta, which is her hometown where she was born, and then she meets her nanny, who is played by Deepti Naval, 𝗂𝗽𝗃 being played by Vanita Sandhu. And when she goes to Calcutta to meet her nanny, she has her problem to solve, and the nanny happens to be the first little girl that has been ever adopted by Mother Teresa back in 1950. So with her, we go back to 1950, and we hear the story of Mother Teresa when she first started to go in the slum to help the poor people. And we see also that Teresa has lost faith because she has heard the voice of Jesus telling her to go to work in the slum, but as soon as she does work in the slum, this voice abandons her, and she feels very lonely, and she's losing faith, and she has lost faith for the rest of her life. And she wrote that in her personal letters that she addressed to her confessors, and we know that because these letters have been published after her death. So we make a story of Teresa in this span of time in 1950 for about 10 years when she's about and loses her faith, but she carry on working, and that's an example of how you stick to your vocation and how you go to do something even with great doubts. And our story of 𝗂𝗽𝗃 today is very inspired by this story, and with the help of 𝗵𝗵𝗃, she understands how to solve her problem, she understands how to get to understand also to love herself, and by loving herself she's becoming able to do what Teresa couldn't do, that is to love others. And by loving others she discovers compassion. So it's a movie with two stories, Teresa and me, and both women are looking for understanding and practicing compassion. Well, I mean, those who have seen the Hindi version of the film, they say it's touching them very much. They understand it very closely because they understand it better. So we think the Hindi version works very well on a Hindi audience so far. And the English version, that is the original version, will work with everybody who understands English.
Okay. You can tell me about your character of this movie.
Well, the fascinating thing about my character is that we really show Mother Teresa as the human being, as the woman behind the scene, with all her emotions, with also this vulnerability. And I think that's the inspiring thing also for the audiences, because one might not have known about her loss, about her crisis, and it can be very motivating also for an audience, and especially for young people, that to see someone and be inspired and motivated to also stay with a vision and create an own vision.
मैं बहुत खुश हूँ कि मुझे इस फिल्म के साथ जुड़ने का मौका मिला है। जब मैंने रोल पढ़ा तो मुझे अच्छा लगा। मुझे स्क्रिप्ट बहुत अच्छी लगी थी क्योंकि ये स्टोरी जो है ये मदर टेरेसा की लाइफ ऑन द होल नहीं है, ये एक पर्टिकुलर एस्पेक्ट है जो पैरेलल चलता है मदर टेरेसा और कविता का, ये जो जक्सटपोज बिटवीन द टू ट्रैक्स। तो उसमें मैं दीपाली का जो कैरेक्टर किया है वो कविता की नानी है, उसकी काइंड ऑफ एक मटर्नल बहुत बॉन्ड है स्ट्रॉन्ग दोनों में, और मदर टेरेसा के साथ भी क्लोजली काम कर चुकी है, करती है, तो एक अच्छी प्रेजेंस है उसकी। What kind of problems did you face in trying to make this version of
this version today? There was no
Teresa?
problem whatsoever. It was there was no problem to make the movie. I think making a movie is always full of difficulties. So there were many difficulties, but I couldn't single out a difficulty that was stronger than another, or maybe one gets used to have difficulties. The acceptance of an iconic portrait of Mother Teresa today is open doors, because a lot of people help us to do something about it, and everybody trusts us to do something that was not betraying Mother Teresa, although we show the woman in a very different light. Although we show the woman behind the mask, it is not. It has never been seen as a problem. So there was no difficulty we encountered as per doing a movie on Mother Teresa. Everybody has been very helpful. The censorship has applauded the movie, so you know it's a movie for all people, Hindu, Muslim, Christian. You know, everybody wants one thing is to see this movie.